YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome to another review. We're skipping altogether and the movies from the 2020s. I don't want to talk about 2020 anymore. I'll just review those movies of 2020 later on this year, hopefully. This was a 2018 movie that I saw recently, and I wanted to review it before uh, the month of June, and that is the steampunk action fantasy film by producer Peter Jackson, The Mortal Engines, aka just Mortal Engines. Yeah, I finally got to see this. I got the Blu-ray a few months ago, and I'm like, I wanted to see it because it's a movie that looked interesting in the trailers. It didn't make money; it bombed at the box office. It only made 83.7 million on a budget of 100 point to 150 million. I think they spend too much money on the budget because the cast here is completely like a mixed bag at best. I'm not going to say anything racist because I know I lost a friend this year because of that. So um, on Facebook, the screenplay was written by Fran Walsh, Philippa Bowens, and Peter Jackson, and it's based on a 2001 novel. So adapting this novel that was like almost basically 20 years old into a recent setting just didn't work. But the film has some good spots to it. It's not a horrible movie. It's pretty decent. Um, it stars Hera Hilmar. She's one of the bright spots of the movie. She plays Hester, who's a girl that has a scar on her face. She lost her mom when she was a little girl, and she's going around through this dystopian society. Uh, the future where these buildings can actually move, and it's kind of like Howl's Moving Castle, that anime that came out years ago from Miyazaki. Uh, yeah, basically that's what it is. And the movie's visually stunning. I think I like the look of the film. I like the sets. I like the CGI. It doesn't bother me mostly. I like the fact that it's not in a desert like in Star Wars. Um, some of the special effects for the spaceships and things when they fly later, it looks really good. It's a good looking film. Uh, Hester's very likable. She's not like a bitch, and she doesn't have a British accent because every other person in this movie supposedly has one, even though they're not British. A lot of them are like Australian actors. Like you have Hugo Weaving, you have Layla George, and Stephen Lang is in the movie too. He plays that robot, that skeleton robot thing that is supposed to be Hester's adopted father or something. Shriek. He's a cyborg. Yeah. Also, you have uh, Robert Sheehan. He was in Mortal Instruments, which is a way worse movie than this because it was longer and it was boring. He plays a class apprentice historian of London, even though he's an Irish actor. Hilmar is from Iceland, so at least she's not from the UK. So it's something different. Give me that. I'm being more open minded. She's from somewhere different. You also have Jiha. She's a South Korean actress, played Amma Fang. She's kind of cool in the movie. I don't like her hairstyle though; it looks too boyish for me. Um, it looks like Natalie Portman's hair in that movie she did. What was it called? That she played that punk rocker or whatever. That her hair is like that. I think it's called Lux or something like that. Let me check. Natalie Portman, because it was that movie she did where she was a rocker. Because I know her birthday's coming up in June, and I want to review something with her if I can. It was called Vox Lux. Yeah, that where she has a haircut like that. Yeah, looks kind of weird. But yeah, the story is the film is set in a post-apocalyptic world where the entire cities have been mounted on wheels and motorized and practice municipal Darwinism. Its movie universe is different from that of the books. They always do that. Whenever they take a book, even if they faithfully adapt it, they're always going to make changes and take liberties. They do that with everything. They did it with Harry Potter, the Hunger Games, Jaws, and a bunch of other stuff. So I just wanted an entertaining movie. And did I get that? Mostly. I think the middle drags a little bit. There's a lot of exposition, a lot of talking, some flashbacks, and there was one joke that made me laugh out loud. I was like, "Yeah," they said our deity, and they showed two statues of the minions, and I was like, "Okay, that was funny. That was a funny joke." Um, And the film was done by Peter Jackson's art director, so it looks great. Like the storyboard artist, he directed this, and he has a good visual style. I'll give him that. He's a lot better than JJ. I could say that. The film received negative reviews from critics, of course, because they always shit on something from Peter Jackson. If it's not Lord of the Rings, usually he gets a better reception. They praised the visual effects and the score. The score was good. I like the score. Most of the criticism was the direction. I think, what can you do with a book that was based from 20 years ago that I never even read? The screenplay and the lack of personality. Well, I think the personality comes from the Asian girl and Hester. She's fine. She doesn't have to be animated. She's not a cartoon character. She's not overacting like the hobo, but at least she's got a character with the mask. She was wearing a mask, which would be a foreshadowing of what we're going through right now. But yeah, it's fine. It's had some personality. Solo was worse than this. It came out the same year, and I couldn't see a thing. Here, even the night scenes, I could see what's going on. Yeah, it says it was one of the biggest bombs of the history. Nah, you could John Carter did worse. It lost 175 million dollars. They should not have spent this much money on the budget. It could have been This could have been a $50 million budgeted film. You don't need $100 million for a tentpole movie based on a book that no one heard of, and a cast that's very, very foreign. It's foreign, but it's not the worst. Okay, don't jump on me in the comment section about that. I think Solo was worse because it was boring. This movie got a little slow in the middle, but it definitely picked up in the third act. It's a lot better than Solo because I can see what's going on. Rotten Tomatoes didn't give it any favors either. I give it a 26%. Mortal Engines has no shortage of eye-catching special effects, that it does, but lacks enough high-octane narrative. I'm like, this isn't Star Wars, guys. Even that got old after Rogue One. But like I said, it was entertaining enough. It was eye candy. It was short. It wasn't 2.5 hours. It was only an hour and 58 without the end credits. It said 2 hours and 3 minutes. Without the end credits, it's an hour and 58. It's way shorter than Solo, Rogue One, and any of the rehash trilogy. But the author of the book praised the film, which is, yeah, it said Christian Rivers has done a fantastic job, a huge visually awesome action movie with perfect pace and a genuine emotional core. That there are many changes to the character's world and story, but it's still fundamentally the same thing. It's fine. Did it entertain me? And I got it for $4 at Best Buy. Yeah, it was good enough. Like I said, the problem is the pacing in the middle. There's way too many characters. There's characters you could easily cut out of here, like some other characters like um Layla George, Catherine Valentine, you could have cut her out. She's not needed. Uh, Patrick Melhide as Magnus, you could cut him out. There's some guys that auction these women off to the highest bidder. Those that could have been cut out. A couple of scenes where the Asian lady is talking to this guy with dreads, that could have been cut out. There's a few scenes that could have been cut out, but overall, it wasn't horrible. Solo was way worse than this. It was a longer movie. It was too dark. It was boring. Your lead had no charisma, and it did a bunch of fan service that no one cared about. It had a lame ass villain too. Here, Hugo Weaving's the villain, typecasted, but at least he was in it a lot more than as Red Skull. But it was a fun movie. It had its moments. Would I see it again recently? No, but I would see the special features and probably skip the boring parts and just get to the good stuff, which is anytime the Hera Hilmar's on screen. And the first 15 minutes she doesn't talk, which is a blessing after what I went through with the Force Awakens. You know what? But it's an entertaining movie. If you've never seen it, if you can stream it somewhere or get the film for cheap on DVD or Blu-ray, it's worth a watch. It's at least worth one watch. It's not horrible. The rehash trilogy, this is not. This is a lot shorter and less painful. So thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and I'll see you in the next review. No more 2020 movies until later this year. So because I'm just burnt out, I needed a break. Thanks for watching, though. Leaving your comments and being nice to me here because, yeah, I don't get a lot of that lately. So thanks for watching. Later.